It's an extremely important role in all basketball organizations. And I think it's extremely important for the Lakers also because this is the first time that I can remember since I've been in the NBA or been around basketball where the Lakers have not had a former player or a Laker in their organization running things or managing things. So this is a new territory that we're entering into for the Lakers and for a lot of organizations. Most organizations in the NBA has always had some former player within their management team. This is the first time where I've seen a couple of organizations now, they don't have a former player in their management team moving forward. And they say participation and observation is the best form of education. And what we have now in a lot of organizations is they've gone strictly towards observation, and they've totally discounted the participation in the sport. So if you've limited yourself from a total educational background in terms of advice, in terms of critique, in terms of knowledge.
The closest thing they have to a former Laker is in a position of power is Kurt Rambis, who seems to be getting his power via the proximity to his wife, Linda, who's one of Jeannie Buss's closest advisors. But the other reason for me, Isiah, that this is so baffling is they didn't fire Magic Johnson. They didn't look at it and say, you know what, we have redundancy. We think Pelinka can take on both roles. This was a job that was filled that Magic, with no warning, impromptu stepped away from. So you thought it was important enough to hire Magic and Pelinka. You thought it was important enough to be taken aback when Magic walked away, and now you don't need it. So now, Magic, I assume, was doing something during the day. Magic there was some level of work that he was doing.
Unless Pelinka convinced them that he could do.
Well, he must have.
Both.
But so, to me, you can see by them not hiring someone for this job and who they hired as the head coach, Frank Vogel, who nobody thought was about to get another head coaching job this quickly, especially it looked bad what happened with him in Orlando. It looked even worse once you saw Orlando this year. The reason you hire that coach is because that coach cedes power to whom? To Pelinka. So Pelinka gets some of the power a coach would have, all the power Magic Johnson had, and now becomes the most powerful voice in the organization that isn't a member of the Buss family.
And this is where I think the NBA and our league has truly failed LeBron James. Because every place LeBron James has gone, they've always given him either a first-year coach or someone that they were experimenting with, and they always took unnecessary chances because you had LeBron James. LeBron James has never had the benefit of, in my opinion, Hall of Fame coaches. He had a Hall of Fame front office with Pat Riley in Miami. However, you know, they gave him a rookie coach to get started off with. And
there were some issues.
And there were some issues. They lost, but then they regrouped. But at the same time, he's never had the benefit of, you know, the greatest coaches ever. And now you're in this organization now with the Lakers where historically they've always been known for their front office, you know, expertise, so forth and so on. Now, they've had some bad luck and bad years, but LeBron James now coming into this situation is basically dealing with, you know,
a rookie front office.
A rookie front office.
Yeah.
And a rookie on all fronts, because now if Rob is going to be the GM and the president, he's never been the president of a basketball organization, which is a lot of responsibility. Being a GM is a big responsibility, but when you're president and GM, that's a big bucket of water to drink.
As far as the free agents out there, we know that this is a much-anticipated group coming. KD potentially being free, Kawhi, we talked about Kyrie Irving, and a bunch of others, Jimmy Butler. But I want to go back to something, because I think that you are one of the rare people that can really comment on this. Last year, the NBA and the Lakers, they tried to help LeBron. Magic waiting out front of his house now.
Yep.
Now, no one knows Magic better than you, and no one has been through the basketball experiences that you talk about mirrored with Magic. What the hell happened to Magic Johnson? And if I'm a free agent, why would you join the Lakers now where their greatest player quit and all the other chaos surrounding this team?
So two things, and I'm just speculating here, okay? I have no inside knowledge, just my observation from the outside. You get the title as president of basketball operations. And as president of basketball operations, you get to implement your vision. Not only do you get to implement your vision, but you also get to bring in managers and coaches and people that you think can implement your vision. I think Magic found out later on in the process that
didn't read the details.
Yeah, that I'm the president only in name only, because when it came time to
potentially fire the coach, potentially maybe even look at moving Rob Pelinka.
Yeah, then it seems like, okay, you don't have full authority or autonomy to make those moves. Now, again, I'm just speculating because I don't know. But if you're given the title of president, then you get to make the moves and act as president. And it doesn't seem like that was the case in Los Angeles.
A lot of this gets fixed if they get one of these star free agents. Maybe not fixed, but people don't care as much. If you get an all-star caliber player to play alongside LeBron James, a lot of the mayhem of this offseason seems like secondary details. How much do you think this offseason has hurt their ability to get one of those star free agents?
Well, and when you talk about star free agents, right, I'm only talking about the top tier. I'm only talking about the best of the best. People who can come in and be transitional and transformation.
KD, Kawhi, Kyrie. KD and Kawhi.
Those are the top two, right? Everybody else is going to fill in and be pieces with.
Okay.
But these are the two guys. Now, if you're sitting there with Magic and LeBron, you got some conversation. Now, and Cris, you know this as a Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame career. There are different levels of this. So you saying, okay, I'm getting ready to put my legacy in your hands. And if I'm going to put my legacy in your hands, then it's got to be somebody that's been in the room before.
That has a legacy themselves.
Yes, thank you. But you can't walk through that door and talk to the greatest players in the games with the greatest minds in the game and the greatest positions in the game, and you come in with some lightweights talking about we can do this. Don't happen.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.